He looked down at his wallet, only $50 left. That was all he had for the week, food, gas, and his little girl's lunch money. But tonight, he wasn't spending it on survival, he was spending it on hope. Across the restaurant, a woman in an elegant white dress watched him struggle to hide his nervousness. But someone else was watching too. A man at the next table, a millionaire CEO who had no idea that this awkward, broke single dad was about to change his life forever. Stay till the end, because what this stranger does will leave you believing in humanity again. Ethan Cole was not the kind of man who complained about life. He used to be a construction foreman, a proud husband, and a father who used to come home covered in sawdust, holding his daughter Lily up in the air as she squealed with laughter. But life has a cruel way of breaking even the strongest men. 2 years ago, his wife Rachel lost her battle with cancer. Ethan had sold almost everything, their car, their furniture, even his tools, just to pay for her treatments. And when she was gone, all that remained was a mountain of debt and a 6-year-old girl with the same brown eyes as her mother. Ethan promised Lily that he would keep going, that one day she would see her daddy smile again. But smiles were expensive. He worked 2 part-time jobs, one at a gas station, one delivering groceries. Every penny went to rent, school supplies, and the second-hand clothes Lily wore so proudly, saying, "Daddy, I look like Mommy." One night, his friend and coworker, Matt, said, "Man, you gotta start living again. It's been 2 years. Try a date or something." Ethan laughed. "With what? My good looks or my bank account?" Matt shrugged. "There's this app. My cousin met his girlfriend on it. Just talk. No pressure." Ethan thought about it for days. Finally, one night after putting Lily to bed, he filled out a profile, "Single dad. Trying my best." He didn't expect a reply, but 3 days later someone named Clara messaged him. Her bio said she was a teacher, loved books, and enjoyed quiet dinners. Her messages were kind, warm, and curious. After a week of chatting, she suggested they meet. Ethan almost said no, but Matt insisted. "Seaman, bro, you deserve one night that's about you." So he said yes. Saturday came. Ethan put on his only decent shirt, white, a little worn but clean. He counted his cash, $50. That was it. He prayed it would be enough for dinner. He called his elderly neighbor, Mrs. Parker, to babysit Lily. "Don't worry, Ethan," she said. "Go. You're a good man. You deserve some happiness." He smiled, kissed Lily's forehead, and whispered, "Daddy's going to meet a nice lady. Okay?" The restaurant was a mid-range Italian place, dim lights, gentle music, white tablecloths that made Ethan nervous just looking at them. Clara was already there, sitting by the window. She was beautiful, not like the movie kind of beauty, but the real kind that makes you forget everything else. She smiled when she saw him. "Ethan," he nodded. "Yeah, you look even better in person." They laughed. For a while it was good. They talked about books, about their families, about the small joys of life. Ethan found himself laughing genuinely for the first time in months. But when the waiter came with the menu, his chest tightened, prices blurred in his vision. Clara ordered pasta and wine. Ethan chose water and the cheapest plate, a small salad and breadsticks. He prayed she wouldn't notice, but someone did. At the next table, a man in his early 40s, wearing a dark navy suit and a silver watch, glanced up occasionally. His name was James Harlow, a self-made millionaire CEO who had built a tech empire from nothing. To the world he was success personified. But tonight, sitting alone, watching this humble man across the room, James felt something he hadn't felt in years. Curiosity. He noticed the way Ethan smiled at Clara even though he looked nervous. He noticed the way Ethan counted his cash discreetly under the table before the bill arrived. And when Clara excused herself to take a phone call, Ethan quickly checked the total, the 47. His heart sank. He barely had enough for a tip. The waiter stood waiting, and Ethan felt the burn of embarrassment rise in his throat. He fumbled for his wallet, but before he could pull out the money, the waiter smiled and said, "Sir, your meal's already taken care of." Ethan blinked. "What? There must be a mistake." The waiter nodded toward the corner. "That gentleman said he'd like to cover your bill." Ethan turned. The man in the navy suit gave a polite nod. Ethan didn't know what to say. He walked over, clutching his wallet awkwardly.
"Sir, I can't let you do that."
"You," James smiled. "You just did. No need to thank me. I just like seeing people smile." Ethan hesitated. "Thank you. You didn't have to." James looked at him closely. "Maybe I did." That night, Ethan went home feeling lighter. Not because of the meal, but because someone somewhere cared. But he had no idea that wasn't the last time he'd see James Harlow. TCHDER2. The stranger's offer. The next morning, Ethan was back at the gas station cleaning windshields and filling tanks. The memory of the date replayed in his head. Clara had texted him later, saying she had a nice time, but something in her tone felt distant. Maybe she'd sensed his struggle. He tried not to care. Life was back to normal. Or so he thought. By noon, a black Mercedes pulled into the station. Ethan walked up, towel in hand. The tinted window rolled down. It was him, the same man from the restaurant. Masudu. Harlow, Ethan said, surprised. James smiled. You remember my name? I saw your face on a magazine once, Ethan admitted. You're the CEO of Harlow Tech, right? James nodded. Mind if we talk for a minute? Ethan frowned, confused, but stepped aside. James got out, offering his hand. Ethan, I didn't help you last night out of pity. I helped you because I saw